All right, here we go. We have an underground Toronto legend in the building, Jimmy Yitty. How are you doing today, man?
Jimmy Yitty, I'm doing great. You know, it's a beautiful day. The weather is getting back to that summer vibe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing good.
Yeah, man. You're like one of the most legendary Toronto artists out there. Even on that whole underground side, you know. I know that when it comes to the underground scene, and I'm not talking about the mainstream scene, you know.
Yeah.
You're probably one of the more consistent artists that I've heard so far as well too. And you know, you worked with someone that I'm actually pretty cool with, that I shot a while back, photo wise, at a show a while back, and then also I did a review on his tape, Dopeface. You know, you did some songs with him.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, Dopeface. You know, I've known him for I've known him for a long time. You know, we've done a lot of musical ventures together, and dope artist, really dope artist. Y'all should check him out.
Yeah, nah, no doubt, man. And aside from all the other stuff too, you worked with the Kount, you worked with Josh Grant, who also worked with well-known Canadian artists like Jordan for a bit too, Terrell Morris, who's big right now in the scene too, and you know, honestly, you're probably more consistent than anyone I've ever heard right now, you know, with the Care Package series, the 33 project, you know, you're co-signed under Tommy Spitz too, which is also pretty dope, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a East York thing, you know what I mean, a whole East Side thing. You know, he also knows some of my family members also from, you know, the same hood over there. So Flemo, shout out to all the Flemo mandem. I also used to live there. My mom grew up there, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out Tommy Spitz, shout out Terrell, shout out Josh, shout out Kount. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of talent in the city. Shout out Tona as well. Me and him just dropped a music video a few days ago. What's today? Friday. So we just dropped that on Monday. You know, shout out to Complex Canada for the premiere. You know what I'm saying? You could check that record out on all streaming. It's at 50K streams right now. So yeah, man. Shout out Tona. Shout out Kount. Shout out everybody.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No, regardless, but I want to get into your story for a bit too. So, you know, you said in the previous interview you were born in Scarborough.
Yeah.
And you were raised in in East York and all that. So which ends did you grow up by in Scarborough before you moved to East York?
So Scarborough, I was by Midland, you know, not too far from the General Hospital over there. I was living there with my mom and my sister, Sunshine. Hi, Sunny. You know, then around the time when I was 8 years old, I started to live with my father, and that's when we moved over to Coxwell and Danforth area. And yeah, that's where, you know, all of this kind of begins, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was the environment for you growing up in both areas? Would you say you had a very decent childhood back then, or would you say it was very different?
Well, one thing that I did notice that when I moved to, you know, East York, there's a lot more white people. That was a huge difference. You know, growing up with my mom, you know, my mom was young and, you know, on her own, and I think we actually lived with my grandpa at the time. You know, raising two kids, you know, it was hard, of course. I was born in 93, right? So, you know, when I'm around 5, 6, 7, you know, we're getting into the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, it definitely wasn't a piece of cake. It wasn't no cakewalk, that's for sure. Very different groups of people, I would say. And yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from other people's experiences moving to East York from my own experiences in Scarborough. Very different, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I definitely know what you mean. And I know, you talked about 33 project, in which it was based out of, you know, 33 Coatsworth Crescent. So
Coatsworth.
So tell me, what was it like growing up in 33 Coatsworth Crescent? Do you have any crazy stories about that era you would like to share, man?
I mean, damn, we 8 million stories, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I got 8 million stories. You know what I'm saying? How is it going up there? I mean, like, you know, since I was young, maybe around like 11, 12 or whatever, I kind of, you know, just been in and out of the streets. Like, you know, I was kind of able to do whatever I wanted. You know, I was away from my mom, and my father wasn't there as much, you know. So yeah, I grew up around a group of men that, you know, I looked to as like family, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that I believe in to this day were inspired by these men, these group of men, you know what I mean? You know, run-ins with the law, and, you know, obviously a lot of people know, like, you know, around like 2011, 2012, I was in and out of jail a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I've been living on my own since like 16, 17, right? So, but 33 Coatsworth, I mean, you can hear about a lot of the experiences in the project, you know what I'm saying? So go check that out. It's a little outdated, but if y'all want to go check that out, it's on all streaming platforms. Yeah.
Most definitely. I know, like, Scarborough was, like, very big, like, you know, even back then for music, but, like, with East York, was it also, like, well known for music at the time, just, like, being, like, an industry end, or just as a community in that sense?
Nah, I mean, like, and exactly, I think that's why, like, we have something so special with the whole East Yitty brand. You know what I'm saying? East York was the first borough in Toronto, and, you know, for the last few years, you know, a lot of the West End mans in the North York, which I love to call North Yitty, you know what I'm saying? The North York guys are holding it down. They've been holding it down for the last few years, you know. Shout out to all the men from the West End and North York, putting it down for the music scene. Back in the day, Scarborough really, really big, you know, really huge downtown at its time. But I think East York, East Yitty, is still an untapped area in regards to the music scene. I will say, you know, a lot of people from the music scene, like in Scarborough or North York and downtown or whatever, they've been in and out of East York, like, you know what I'm saying? But it just hasn't been put on that platform yet, and that's exactly why I'm here holding down the fucking fort, you dig?
Yeah, nah, most definitely, man.
Yeah, man.
So prior to Jimmy Yitty, you know, what was, like, your musical history and background like, and what inspired you to, like, rap and become, like, an artist and all that, you know?
What do you mean before Jimmy Yitty?
Like, you know, before you decided that you wanted to become a rapper, like, were you, like, listening to, like, music, like, in the home? Do you had, like, family back then, like, that were, like, into music, you know, that were, like, musicians?
Yeah. So, my brother, who's, you know, he's a few years older than me, you know, him including, like, the OGs of my area, the OGs on my block, like Methodist and Cream, rest in peace, you know, Milk Crate, you know, those kind of guys put me on to, like, you know, the Nas and the Mobb Deeps and the Wu-Tangs and the Big L's, and, you know, that old school, like, hip-hop nowadays. People want to call it boom bap. I personally don't like that, but, you know, the boom bap, the New York, more specifically too, right? So I would say Mobb Deep, especially Prodigy, would be my number one influences in wanting to write music. Even like the brand, like East Yitty, like there's a song called New Yitty by Prodigy, and when I heard that song, like, that was just like, yo, I gotta bring that shit over here, man. That shit sound tight as hell. Like, we from East York. The slang Yitty is a slang for York out in New York, you know what I'm saying? So, but we the original York, you know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas, you know what I'm saying? Do your history, but we the original York, you know what I'm saying? We have East York, we have North York, we have Fort York, we have Old York. So, yeah, I would definitely say Prodigy. I started writing, like, from as early as I can remember, like maybe grade 7, grade 8. And, you know, we would just be on the block, me and the man them. And I remember the day, actually, when I decided I wanted to. And I remember I showed my boy Casey and O-Dog 2 of these raps that I wrote. It was in the third lane. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was in the third lane of Coatsworth. That's where we would smoke and drink and like just do fuck shit just to like get away from the cameras. And I remember Casey and Old Dog were like, "Yo, bro, like you're sick, fam. Like you should really do this. Like, da 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 da, you know." So the man brought me to the studio. We recorded my first song I ever recorded, "Bring 'Em Up," and you know at the time it did great, bro. Like I remember in high school I had like little white preppy girls in the hallway like singing rapping my verse, like, you know what I'm saying? And when I seen that, it was just like, it was crazy because like the content I was rapping about, like I wouldn't expect somebody like that to listen, you know? So once I seen that, I was kind of like, yo, maybe I do have, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I do have something. Maybe I do got something for the gang, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I know that you talked about, like, in a previous interview that, you know, you were, like, influenced by, like, Kendrick Lamar, like, Schoolboy Q, like, all these, like, other acts, like, back then. But, as far as, like, you know, wanting to work with someone, like, musically someday, like, do you have any, like, one in mind that you want to work with and all that?
Yeah, and, like, not even just, it doesn't always have to be even just musically or, like, doing a feature with somebody, like, you know, I always joke around, and it's not really a joke, but I would love to work with Drake as, like, an executive producer. I would love to executive produce one of his albums or something. Like, a verse from him and a song with him would be sick, obviously. But I would love, like, I'm a creator, you know what I'm saying? I'm a visionary, like, I'm more into that stuff. Even, like, brands, like, you know, Smart Water. Like, I always wanted to do something with Smart Water and do some merch with them. Just to promote like drinking water consistently. But musically, I mean, like I do so much different styles of music. Like I would love to, you know, Rage Against the Machine is a group that lately I've just been like, yo, how can I get a song with Rage Against the fucking Machine? Like I gotta somehow make that happen, right? But you know, like anybody and everybody, that's good. Like I just want to make like great music. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, with Rage, like, I mean, they're about to go on tour soon with, like, Run the Jewels and all that. So,
there you
like,
go.
Even that, like, you know, like, the sky's the limit. Like, just even, like, having that opportunity, like, that could be dope, too. I mean, also, you know, even branding, too. Like, I actually just found it out, I don't know if you know, like, Kato, the producer who produced for Jazz Curtis, like, Right Now and all that.
Okay. No, I'm not, that name doesn't ring a bell to me right now.
So, I actually just found it out, like, a while back that, you know, he actually had, like, a Nando's deal, like, with the peri-peri sauces for a bit, too. So, like, even, like, something like that, like, even, like, a local artist like that, you know, like, the sky's the limit, you know? So, hopefully, like, that Smart Water approach, like, would work well, like, in that sense, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I definitely have some great ideas that could tap into, like, a whole different audience that I don't think they're really catering to too much. But yeah,
man. I know that you talked about, you know, doing music for like over like 10 years, so I'm gonna say in an estimate like 2009, if that's correct, or?
Well, I'm 28 now, right? I'm turning 29 in exactly 1 month. I started, you know, I guess writing music since like grade 7. Like, how old are you when you're in grade 7? I don't even know. I don't remember.
I mean, grade 7, I was probably like 12 in like 2008, around that time. So.
Yeah. So maybe, it could be somewhere around there. Yeah. We could say that.
So, like, started in 2008, and then, I mean, you talked about being in jail for like 2011, 2012, then you came back, did some like massive amounts, you know, with Kount, with Josh Grant, with Terrell Morris, and like, you know, you got your name out there like in 2018, 2019 with the interviews. Like,
actually 2015 would probably be like the most prominent year of Yitty. You know, that's when me and Kount and, you know, Margaret Backwoods as well too. I think he's going by another name now, but shout out Augie and you know, Middle East, my boy. You know, we dropped 3 projects in that 1 year. And I did 103 shows in that 1 year, 2015, right? Did Toronto, obviously. Most of them were in Toronto, but, you know, some Oshawa dates. I did a lot of Hamilton dates. I did a few Montreal dates, you know what I mean? And as I think about it, it's just like, yeah, you are right. I am a fucking legend because What Toronto artist can say they performed 103 shows in one fucking year? None of you niggas can say that. It's historic, right? So Underground King for sure. But yeah, I would say 2015 was kind of like the, Glass of Chardonnay was like my first official release.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, like, even up until now, like, have you felt that you came, like, a long way in your career based on, like, starting your writing career in, like, 2008, then being, like, as big in, like, 2015, and then, just having, like, that same impact, like, now in 2022,
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because I was just talking to my, I was talking to a friend about this the other day. Like, I haven't dropped a project, and I'm usually, like I said, 2015, I dropped 3 projects in 1 year, right? Moving forward, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, like, I dropped at least 1 project a year. I haven't dropped a project since the 33, right? Like, an official project. My creation has evolved a lot, right? Oh yeah, but I was saying, so I haven't dropped a project in so long, and people still consider me as like one of the GOATs, one of the greats of my generation, of this city. So yeah, hell yeah, I definitely came a long way, but there's still a lot more to go. I've been doing a lot more behind the scenes stuff, because that's what people gotta realize is, you could be the greatest artist of all time, but if you don't have your business right, if you don't know how to make your moves properly, if you don't have knowledge of, this algorithmic bullshit and all the other behind the scenes stuff, then, you're just putting out your good work and it's gonna fall on empty or deaf ears, right? So, yeah, I've definitely come a long way, 100%.
Yeah, man. And,
and my impact is still there. You know what I'm saying? I could drop a song in 4 months from now, and niggas will still remember that I'm the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think, like, in that underground, like, round, like, I could definitely say that you're, like, on top of, like, all these, like, other acts, like, right now, too, like, either way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone can do it, like, better than you in that sense, so.
Nah, I agree with you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But getting more into, like, the creative side of you for a bit, too, so what's your creative process like when making music, and what would a day in recording or making music be like for you?
Well, so I actually have a studio session right after this, right? Lately, I've been making my own beats. I just started making beats 2 years ago. So now my process is a little bit different, but I like it. I feel like I'm more in control. So I'll make a beat, or make the chords, do the chords, make the loop have the, the initial loop that I want, and I'll start writing from then. Now, a lot of my songs are freestyles. A lot of people can attest to this, that, you can ask one of my scrambler niggas, like, I wrote a song one time in my sleep, woke up the next morning and I had that shit done, and I was like, what the hell? You can ask artists like Dutch Revs or, my engineer Mark Sands, like, one time I walked in there and I recorded while I was sleeping. I swear to God, I was sleepwalking and recorded a song, and I freestyled it. I woke up the next day and it sounded actually dope. Obviously, it was a little incoherent, but the flows and the melodies were dope, right? These days, yeah, so like I'll make the beat, I'll get the loop down, and then I'll start freestyling a couple of melodies, and then I'll try to fill in the words, but that is definitely my favorite process of making music. Yeah,
no doubt, man. And I know with 33 you talked about it, 33 Coatsworth, Coatsworth Crescent. I know, but like with the care package series, you were doing them like from 1, from 2, from 3 as well too. So, aside from the inspiration from 33, but to get more on the inspiration from the care package, what was like the creative processes, for like both 33 and care package, and the inspiration for the care package?
So the care package, it's so funny because I wanted to name a series that before Drake dropped his care package little thing, and So the care package actually is just old songs from SoundCloud that were never on streaming, but people wanted them on streaming for the longest time, right? I had somebody who was kind of like my manager at the time. He was putting my music on the streaming, but then he kind of fucked off on me, so I had him take all my shit down. So there's a reason why a lot of those songs were never on streaming, right? Like, for example, Thuggin', my biggest track to date, that only came out on streaming via one of the care packages, you know what I'm saying? I think it's the latest one. And people were dying, like, yo, put that on. Same thing with Lady Sunade. Like, everyone's like, yo, we want Lady Sunade on streaming. We want it on streaming. So the care package is just like, you know, songs that I had from SoundCloud, right? And don't get it twisted, the series ain't over. Like, I got around 400 unreleased songs right now. You know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be a lot more care packages to come. You know what I'm saying? Soon forward. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
I know that I think you had like one bigger song like at the moment like on Spotify, and that's like Shoppers right now, and it literally gained almost like 58,000 streams on Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's bigger than fucking by any chance, or if it's like kind of like in the middle right now.
I think stream wise, Shoppers would 1,000,000,000% be more successful in that in that regards. But the impact that Thuggin' had, like, nothing could top that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like, that's a song that I dropped in 2015, and people still to this day, that's like 8 years ago, you know? People are still telling me, like, yo, they love that song, they still listen to it. You know, like, old ladies that I used to fuck with back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, Thuggin', everybody knows. So, like, it's the impact, you know? That song should have blew the fuck up, but there was some hating ass niggas doing some you know, some rap behavior type shit. The shit didn't even work out the way they planned it, but it did definitely delay the buzz for that record. So, like I said, it doesn't matter. I have 400 unreleased songs. I got a few hits in that vault. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. But,
yeah.
You know, to speak more on Shoppers, tell me more about that impact of that song, because like with Spotify, like making that amount, you know, you would get like some good checks here and there too. And I don't know if it changed like everything for you in a way, and as well, like what was like the creative process and inspiration for making that track?
Shoppers, who produced that joint? JD, Make Noise. Shout out JD. You know what I'm saying? He holds it down like no other. So I was in the studio with him. We had already recorded 2 songs that like I went to the studio specifically to record these 2 songs. And I just asked him, man, I was like, yo, run some beats. You know, let me see what you got going on. Because I went to the studio with my own beats. You know, he played a few beats for me, and I had a few verses and shit, and I heard this one, and you know, I just started flowing, and I was like, yo, I think this one will work on this one, you know what I'm saying? I think, I was with my lady at the time, she was in the studio with me, and she's like, yeah, this shit is hard, so when she said it was hard, I was like, okay, yeah, we gotta record it, like, you know what I'm saying? And that was that. You know, a lot of people told me that the beat was very unique. It was very drillish as well. Around the time when I guess like the whole New York drill scene was like really, really popping. And the UK stuff, I mean, it's still popping now, but there was kind of like that one time where it was just, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, we were supposed to do a music video for it, and then COVID hit. You know, my cousin really wanted me to do a video. He's like, yo, this song is hard, bro. Like, I will pay to do the video. You know, a lot of ladies, a lot of females liked it. A lot of women liked it. So, yeah, that was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if I would want to ask this, but, like, how much did you, like, made off of, like, Shoppers, like, right now, you know, based off, like, the streams alone?
Man, fuck the streams, bro. And fuck Spotify, because y'all niggas be paying us fucking nothing. Y'all niggas be paying us nothing. You know, it's like my studio time costs more money than I've ever made off Spotify. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but that's all good, bro, because this summer we got some crazy shit going down. You know, so, you know, money come, money go, dog. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about that.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, when I was like listening to the music for like the past like several weeks too, you know, you talked about a variety of topics, but like one like crazy topic that you always talked about is like drug dealing and like drug culture.
Yeah.
To speak more about that, do you feel that the topic of like drug dealing, drug culture, like in your music, related to your life in some sort of way by any chance?
You know, it's music, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's music. What I will say, you know, drugs is everywhere, though, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tylenol is a drug. I have asthma. I use a puffer. Like, that is a drug. You know what I'm saying? So, I think, you know, people go through things differently. Some people use drugs to cope. You know, I feel like, you know, when you're down and out and you're just trying to make some money and minimum wage ain't cutting it, it's not paying the bills, you know what I'm saying? Some people will resort to making money their own ways. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of that. You know, it's everywhere, right? So, yeah, that's what I'll say about that.
So, you know, getting back, you know, into your music for a bit too, you know, you worked with like Terrell Morris, like probably like one of like the bigger like Toronto artists, like right now, you know, getting co-signed from like many like major platforms like the Kount, probably one of the most like rising producers, you know, out of like Toronto. Huge. And like he's even getting like bigger co-signs now, like on social media.
Busta Rhymes, Madlib, like come on now, fam. The man's a superstar, B.
And Josh Grant, you know, who you know, we also talked about him working with Jordan for a bit too. Just in that sense, how did you manage to work with them, and how was it like working with them?
Well, one, I'm the greatest artist of my generation, and before and after. We said that already, right? So naturally, people are gonna want to work with me. When it comes to Kount and Terrell, we actually worked together at a restaurant called Valdez. This was back in like 2013, 2014 or so. I would always be in the back, like freestyling, rapping and stuff. And one day Kount was just like, yo, you know, I make beats and tay. So we linked up, and, you know, like I said, 2015, bro, 103 shows in 1 year, 3 projects we dropped. You know, still to this day, people are like, you know, we were like the Dre and Snoop, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's still my guy. I don't know if I'm supposed to be letting this information out, but, you know, we working still. You know, like I mentioned earlier, that song that me and Tona just dropped is produced by Kount. You know, so once again, you can check that out on YouTube and all streaming platforms. It's called EST. Josh Grant, like, holy, we have so much unreleased music that we need to, you know, just reconnect. And, you know, life happens, and, you know, sometimes people kind of separate for a bit and then, you know what I mean, come back together. So, same thing with Terrell as well. So, you know, I was downtown, man. Like I said, 2015, 103 shows. Like, you bound to meet people, right? So, and then when they see my energy on how I perform, like, people would just come up to me and be like, you know, add me on Instagram or whatever the social media is, and then they want to collab, and, you know, so, yeah, that's how that went down.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. You know, one thing that I like about you right now is your consistency as an artist. Like, you're almost like dropping like songs and like projects like every other time, even though like it might not be within like, you know, certain like time periods, you know, but like you're consistently dropping, you're consistently getting your face out there too. So how do you maintain your consistency as an artist, like when releasing music and such?
You know, for me, it's really hard. Just because, like I mentioned earlier, like I have 400 unreleased songs, right? Like, I literally could drop a song every month for like 30 years. But I also do a lot of different genres. So for me, it's kind of hard to pick singles. That's why I said, like, I'm more of a project person, because that way I could put multiple genres into one cohesive project. Whereas a single, it's kind of like, you know, and you kind of want to match, like, okay, like, for example, like, the last song that we just dropped with me and Tona, you know, I can't now, like, drop like let's say like a heavy metal song or something like that, like, you know what I mean? Because all the new followers and the new faces and the new supporters that I got from that, which is more of like a rap kind of thing. If my next single is a heavy metal, then they were kind of expecting that from before, you know what I'm saying? So with me, you know, singing and, you know, doing the conscious hip-hop, boom-bap shit, whatever you want to call it, me doing the trap drill kind of music and the auto-tune singing, the non-auto-tune singing, you know, I even want to get into some, like, heavy metal shit. It's, like, it's kind of hard for me to pick singles like that, so I don't know. It's kind of just, like, in the moment for me, like, what do I feel like should drop next? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, I'm a visionary, right? So like I have a specific way on how certain songs should come out and when they should come out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So we just have like these like last two questions for a bit too.
Yeah.
You know about Toronto, like the scene's like always like rising for a bit too. But how do you feel about the Toronto music scene in your opinion? Like at the moment, do you feel that there should be some changes on the direction of where the scene should go to, or you feel like it's fine the way it is?
Yeah. I mean, some diversity would be nice. You know, I think it's too much gang, bang, bang, and not enough peace, let's make money and support each other. I would like to see a lot of, you know, more female artists be put into the spotlight as well. Like, yo, last year, the top 3 favorite artists that I had were all female artists, right? Yeah, and I just feel like the scene is very cliquish, you know? Which is cool and all, but it could get mad corny, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So don't be one of them niggas that's fucking corny and don't want to fuck with another person because you're clicked up with, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is goofy. It's not getting us anywhere. It has the American people laughing at us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could do so much more. You know what I mean? Like, I fuck with a lot of people from different hoods and shit like that. Like, sometimes I can't play certain mans in certain hoods. Like, you know what I'm saying? And which I understand. I get it. You know? Street polys are gonna be polys. But when it comes to music, like, if it's music, then it's music. If it's street shit, just keep it street shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think people are blending the two together, and it could get pretty dangerous like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who have the spotlight that are not really you know, they never really had a plan for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're just doing it for the city. They're not trying to, you know, look at Pressa and Smiley, like, all in LA and Calabasas and etc. Like, I don't think these guys really have those aspirations or anything close to that. So I think we should just start showcasing more of those artists that have those kind of aspirations, because then, you know, once they make it and they show, like, yo, this is what can happen for you, like, it inspires people, right? You know, like, Smiley, like, he inspires me so much. Like, when I listen to, you know, that's a perfect example. Like, one of the reasons why I love Smiley's music is, it's like, if you really listen to his music, it's not all just gang, bang, bang shit. Like, if you really take it in, like, you know, he talks about him having low self-esteem at points in his life, and, you know, like, you know, so that's why I fuck with Smiley, and I think, yeah that's what I'm gonna say on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So aside from, like, the music that you're about to drop soon, you know, like, what's next for you, like, for the rest of the year in terms of, like, other creative projects and so forth? And do you have any final words you would like to say for any creative or any person out there pursuing their dreams?
Just get the fuck out of my way. I'll tell you that. We do have some crazy stuff going on this summer, so if any of you guys watching this want to be updated on what's going on this fucking summer, follow me on Instagram at jimmy.yitty. Yitty is spelled Y-I-T-T-Y. So it's jimmy.yitty on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter as well, Jimmy Yitty. Right, we got some huge things going down this summer. I'm going to be trying to bring some artists from the States over here and get some shit going on, you know what I'm saying? Music, I plan to drop my, it might even be my debut album, you know, but I got a project coming out called It Feels Like Hell, That's slated for like first week of December is what I'm trying to do, where I produced most of it. I said I was working on something with Kount and Tona. And like I said, with the Smart Water, just trying to get some more merch out, trying to collab with more brands, collab with more artists, producers from like the States. I've been networking with a lot of people from Atlanta and Florida, so that's kind of like my next, and New York as well. So that's kind of like my next, that's where I'm trying to go with it next, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yo, this summer, Patis Week, Guan, seen? So don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Y'all niggas know all about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Jimmy Yitty, thank you for coming by, man.
Yes,
for the very first time for the Lens of Yashu and all that. For, I guess, probably one of the dopest interviews that we're gonna have right now too. You shared your story.
Yeah, we're gonna do numbers too.
You shared everything in your life, from working with legendary artists to growing up in East York and to much more, man. And I wish nothing but the best for you. And
thank you.
I hope that you're gonna be doing well with everything else going on, man.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And the last thing what I would want to say is, for any creators, times, especially during COVID, a lot of people lost businesses, lost monies, lost opportunities. If you're as passionate about this as I am, there's been times where you felt down or discouraged or whatever, what I would say is just keep going, do the work, bro, do the research. Nobody's gonna just if they don't see you working towards it, nobody's gonna help you out when you're not helping yourself out, right? Yeah, man, hard work, dedication, as cliche and corny as it sounds, this shit is real shit. You literally can do anything you put your mind to. Anything you manifest can happen. It's the realest shit ever. So that's why I just want to say peace out.
Till next time, man.
Till next time.
All right.